Really the devastation that's been wrought on by the fire in Cape Town on Table Mountain. And it's exactly there where we start at this hour. A 35-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the Table Mountain fire. A case of arson has been opened. The man is believed to have been living in the bush. Cape Town's mayoral committee member for safety and security, J.P. Smith, has more on that situation.
Last night we had, when the firefighters were busy trying to control that fire break between the Rhodes Memorial side and the developments on the edge of Devil's Peak, the High Cape and so forth, there were multiple residents who in quick succession contacted me in the emergency centres, the neighbourhood watchers, to say that they were watching three men moving through the bush, starting new fires. And I mean, it was almost incredulous. My first thing was to ask residents, are you sure it's not just the fire spotting? They said, no, we're seeing men. So we got all of traffic law enforcement and Metro Police to go and see if they could find these individuals in the bush. And that is in fact then what happened. A resident from the area, Mr. Yazid Evans, then found one of these individuals, or a man standing right next to a fire. Law enforcement officer who arrived on the scene assisted in arresting that individual, and he is currently in custody with SAPS. A case has been opened of arson, and affidavits have been obtained from the residents and the officers.
Can you provide a bit more detail with regards to this individual? Has he offended previously?
It's not much is known about him at this stage. He's in his 30s, and when he was asked for an address, he indicated that he sleeps in the bush. And so it is possible that it was an accidental fire that he started for cooking purposes, but he was busy with a second smaller fire, and when asked about it, he admitted that he started the fire. He was asked about if he started the big fire or this one. It seemed to indicate that he took responsibility for the bigger fire. So it is hard to say what his state of mind is as well, and I think that will now be the subject of the criminal investigation.
Here now from the UCT spokesperson Elijah Moholola, who says Sunday's fire on campus still feels surreal. Classes have been suspended and students have been provided with alternative accommodation around the city. But the cost of the damage is not yet known.
It's very devastating. It's really unbelievable. I mean, I drove past campus, I think, around midnight last evening. Looking at it, it felt like it's not happening. It's just so surreal. It's almost like you could wake up and find that actually it was a dream. It's just terrible. And I mean, the timing could not have been worse as well, you know, while we are obviously in an ongoing pandemic, which also had its own financial impact on the university. We have this fire that we're also going to further impact the university financially, but we're doing the best we can.
So let's bring you the very latest on that situation. I'm joined by eNCA's Ronald Masinda, who joins us at the Roland Street Central Fire Station in Cape Town. Ronald, thank you. And what is the latest that you're hearing? It's day 2, and indications were that the fire continued to rage and seemed to be moving to the other side of the mountain, the backside of the mountain.
Good morning, Tulas. What the information that we are getting from City of Cape Town Mayor Dan Plato is that the fire has been contained, but given that there are still strong winds, fire and rescue service workers are still stationed at near Table Mountain. But fire and rescue service workers have been lauded for their efforts. They've been working around the clock to try and contain this fire. But we are also hearing on the ground, Tulas, that many of them face possible job losses. Now, for more information on this, I am joined by Bridget Ngomana. She is from SAMUS. Bridget, thank you so much for your time. I believe you received information very late last night. Please give us more details.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners. Last night, while we were here assisting and our firefighters were busy trying to extinguish fires up the mountain, we received further communication in relation to the disciplinary processes relating to the firefighters' case, for them to have a meeting today, this morning, from the person who is initiating for the city in this case.
Talk us through the time frame and how long has this been going on?
Look, this has been going on for a very long time, if I can put it to you. And it was not for the first time that the City of Cape Town has not followed the processes in terms of disciplinary procedures. Remember on the 30th, we were at the Civic Center with the firefighters where the city again sent out a notification of change of venue. The last minute, while our firefighters were working on night shift and some were off duty and were expected to come to their hearing the following morning in a venue unknown. Last night we wake up again this morning to the same thing. So we are starting to question really the intention to say that the union is not dreaming when we are saying that the city's intention is to dismiss these 525 firefighters.
What are the workers demanding?
The workers are demanding, first of all, to say, look, the City of Cape Town, this agreement that we have, the fire lapse agreement, is way outdated. We need to start negotiating for a new agreement. But we understand why the City of Cape Town is dragging its feet in negotiating this new agreement. It's because they are benefiting as line managers in terms of this. Because if you look at the 2.8% that these senior managers are getting, they're getting it for doing nothing at all. So this we can see that the city, by implementing and sticking to the 24-hour shift, is that it's solely benefiting for themselves. These firefighters are not benefiting anything out of these processes.
We know that information, or the latest information regarding the saga, was received late last night. If it was received earlier, could it have been a possibility where firefighters would have refused to work, given this devastating impact this fire has caused?
If you look at the pattern ever since the firefighters have been charged, they have been very dedicated in terms of their jobs. There was not even one day that they did not come out and come and deal with their work. So the issue here is not that the firefighters would have down tools or not work or not cooperate in terms of what is happening in Cape Town when it comes to fires. They have been dedicated since day one. Even the City of Cape Town waking up this morning to the applause to these firefighters for their selflessness. Like, I mean, really, one can see that these people are dedicated in terms of their work.
All right, Bridget, lastly, what is the next step?
The next step now is to, first of all, visit our firefighters that were injured yesterday from the fires that are lying in hospital. And as SAMU, we are saying we will continue with the process with the City of Cape Town, but ultimately we are saying to the City of Cape Town, as SAMU, we don't want to see even one of these firefighters being fired because they are fighting for their rights. And it is not to the benefit of the community that they will be firing 525 firefighters. So if the City of Cape Town has declared a war against us and our firefighters, we will rally our communities through our Back to Work campaign. And on the 1st, in May Day, we are definitely visiting the DA's offices to go and demand answers from the DA.
Bridget, thank you very much indeed. Well, Tulas, it will really be a shame to see firefighters lose their jobs, given the difficult circumstances many of them have to work under. I mean, not only are they saving lives, but they've saved several properties from gutted during this harsh blaze. We've seen quite a number of buildings in UCT and in nearby areas, completely gutted, as well as vehicles. We do understand, however, that the City of Cape Town will be holding a press briefing at around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm sure this will certainly be one of the issues that we will have to raise.
We certainly have to hear more on that, Ronald, given the incredible role that has been played by firefighters in responding to this disaster over the last 24 or so hours, including those 4 firefighters that we are told sustained some kinds of injuries. Just before I let you go, Ronald, just confirmation what you said at the start of our conversation. The update from the City of Cape Town Fire and Rescue Department is that the fire is under control. I don't know if you can confirm that, and then if you are able to just show us a little bit what you can see of some of the activity around you.
All right. So Dan Plato confirming earlier on that the fire is under control, but there's still lots of strong wind in and around the Table Mountain area. But where we are at the moment, at the Central Fire Station, many people are also coming here to deliver goods to to provide firefighters with some essentials such as water. So many people, ordinary citizens, coming here, spending their time, some even using Uber services to deliver goods. So it seems like there's a lot of solidarity. We are seeing people carrying a large boxes there, entering the fire station here at Roland Street, and many people really giving back, saying that thank you for the hard work and effort that you have put in during this time. Now, when we covered the story earlier yesterday, Tulas, the fire didn't seem to be that strong. I mean, this we are talking about at around 11 o'clock yesterday morning, where we also heard that there were only around 60 firefighters deployed near Table Mountain. That number grew quite substantially to around 150 firefighters that were deployed by the City of Cape Town, and quite a number of other voluntary firefighters also assisting during the course. We also went to the Newlands fire base, where quite a number of choppers carrying water bombs were also dispatched, but we have yet to see a single chopper used to disperse water bombs today, given that there is quite a lot of strong winds, and this obviously places people who fly helicopters also under immense danger.
All right, thank you for that, eNCA's Ronald Masinda out there. And Ronald, do we know anything about the situation around evacuations? An earlier update had talked about evacuations in the area of Vredehoek and concerns around the ministerial homes, ministerial estate, Deezer Park and Mountain View complexes. If you have any updates on that, please share them with us.
So fortunately, just before we did this crossing, we revisited Deezer Towers, and that area is quite empty. There's not a single person living in that space. A number of people that we spoke to were actually not notified to take their belongings. And one lady was deeply concerned, saying that, you know, she is without her belongings and she's been told to evacuate. But Fire and rescue service workers are saying that it is for their own safety, and that their lives should be more important than their actual belongings. So that area is completely evacuated. We are still seeing quite a number of firefighters. Where we are unable to go at this stage because of traffic or law enforcement telling us that it's quite dangerous is near UCT. We will continue trying to see what is taking place there.
All right, thank you for that. That's eNCA's Ronald Masinda. Extensive coverage of the fires out in Cape Town with Ronald and the team on the ground there tracking the situation. So the latest Ronald Masinda is getting from Mayor Dan Plato is that the fire is under control, but it remains a matter of concern, of course, because there are strong gusting winds in Cape Town today, which do tend to complicate the situation in as far as firefighting is concerned.